Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Site back in another video today, and today the Houston Rockets beat the Orlando Magic 118-106 within their three games left after tonight. This was their fourth last game. The Rockets improved to 39-40 and have a legitimate chance to finish off the season after last year being the 14th seed in the Western Conference and one of the worst teams in basketball to finish the season with a 500 record. Look, anybody hating on the Rockets, do you see any other teams that were in the position the Rockets were, last season, being as successful as the Rockets have been this year? The Spurs, even with a generational talent like Victor Wembanyama, have been terrible this year. The Pistons, who were one of the bottom teams last year in the Eastern Conference, terrible again this year. The Hornets, same thing with them. Blazers, same thing with them. The Rockets, out of all the bottom teams in the NBA last year, are the only team that have taken a big jump out of all the bottom teams last year. And they, after tonight, is a 17-win improvement compared to last season. And they have two chances to potentially, they have three different chances, but I think two legitimate chances to have a 500 record to finish the season. Now, they do have a chance to end the season with an over 500, but I don't see them winning the remainder of their three games unless the Clippers rest their starters because they're locked into the whatever seed it may be on Sunday, last game of the season. But the last couple games of the season, Thursday against the Jazz, Friday against the Blazers, I think those should be easy wins. Two teams the Rockets have had, success against in this season, and I think those should be two wins for the Rockets to get the 500 record, have 41 wins on the season, and be 41-40, and then we'll see what the last game of the season in LA against the Clippers has entailed. Probably a loss, but maybe, you never know with the Western Conference standings. Maybe the Clippers lock in a seed. I think it's going to come down to the last day of the season, so I don't imagine the Clippers resting their starters. So I think most likely the Rockets are going to finish off this season 2-1. If you look at include tonight, 3-1, and finish off the season with a 41-41 record. And I think that's the amazing scenario for the Rockets, finishing off with a 500 record after a 22-win season last year. And like, my goal for the Rockets this year, I remember my season predictions, which I can't believe we're coming to the end of the season. It's gone by so damn fast, but my win projection total, I said the Rockets were going to be in the area of 30. I either said 34 or 35 to 42 wins. Now the Rockets could reach 42. It's very unlikely, but I said I remember my floor for the Rockets was to reach 35 wins, and the ceiling was 42. And the Rockets have gone way past the floor at 35, and they very well maybe could get to the ceiling at 42, but don't see that happening. But getting a 500 record is definitely amazing. Let's go over this game as the Rockets win 118-106 over a top team in the Eastern Conference in the Orlando Magic. These two teams wrap up they're 2 games against each other this year. If you guys remember, the Rockets and Magic played each other first game of the season. Rockets got blown out by Orlando in Orlando. That was a new Rockets team trying to figure things out, and so things were different tonight. The Rockets now blow them out in our home territory, 118-106. Now this was, the Rockets they were up by near 20 points in this game. 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists for Fred VanVleet, 13 for 22, 6 for 11. He had to be motivated. Orlando was a team that was interested in picking him up. Houston offered him more money than Orlando did. And honestly, even though how good Orlando's been this year and they're 46-33, I would think they have to potentially maybe regret not picking up VanVleet. I know the Rockets threw him a big offer, and that's maybe one of the reasons why you might not regret picking him up. But look, I think VanVleet has absolutely just, his addition to this young team has been perfect, and he has been so good next to these young guys. And look, Orlando is just like the Rockets, a young team. Ben Caro, they didn't have Wagner tonight. They didn't have Franz Wagner tonight, but they have guys like Jalen Suggs, Ben Caro, Wendell Carter Jr., Wagner. I know he's not a young guy, but he is a decent shooter. Gary Harris. There is young talent on this team. I think VanVleet would have worked well with. I think the Orlando Magic, even at 46-33, might have been a better team having a guy like VanVleet on their team. But at the same time, they do have so much guard talent on their roster, but they were one of the top teams to potentially pick up VanVleet. I remember the teams that were interested in him were us, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Magic, and I think the Suns were in the mix for VanVleet as well. But the Rockets got him, and he scored 37, 8, and 6 tonight. Shot 13 for 22, 6 for 11 from 3. They're scoring for the Rockets in this ballgame, 23 points and 7 rebounds, 5 assists for Jabari Smith Jr. in 41 minutes, 9 for 17, 3 for 5 from 3, 2 for 2 at the free throw line, 13 points and 8 rebounds and 4 assists for Amen Thompson, 14 points for Jalen Green with 5 assists, 5 rebounds, Dylan Brooks with 15 points with 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 3 for 4 from 3. Rockets shot really well from 3 tonight, 15 for 35, 43%. Cam Whitmore got ejected in this game. Only played 6 minutes, though. Shot 1 for 4 and 0 for 3 from 3. Rough night for him with 2 points. Him and Joe Ingles got into it, and then he kind of pushed. That was a double technical foul, and then he kind of pushed Franz's brother Mo Wagner a little bit, and then they ejected him, and then I think they reviewed it for a flagrant foul, and I think he also got a flagrant one off of that push as well. And then 8 points for Jock Landale, 6 points for Jeff Green with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. And there wasn't a lot of bench scoring for the Rockets in this game. They were effective with their starters. Like Jeff had 6, Cam had 2, Jock had 8. That was it. There was only 16 bench points for the Rockets. So 102 out of the 118 points for the Rockets came from their starters. Then the Magic, let's go over the Magic real quick. 21 for both Jalen Suggs and Paulo Banchero. Really like Jalen Suggs. He's a nice player to watch. Now, I'm not a big fan of Banchero. I think he's a little inconsistent and takes a lot of shots. But he's a nice player. I'm not saying Banchero's bad because he's a really nice player, but I think he's inconsistent and takes a lot of bad shots. I think he's just a little. To be honest, I don't enjoy watching Banchero a lot because I think he is a little bit of a ball hog. But he had 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists tonight. He is nice at moving the ball, but at times I think he can be a ball hog a little bit. I've watched him recently. Markelle Fultz had 18 points, getting the opportunity to start with Wagner being out. He had an 8 for 18 shooting night. Wendell Carter had 7 points with 6 rebounds. Gary Harris had 6 points. Then a couple guys off the bench. Franz's brother, Mo Wagner, with 12 points and 5 rebounds off the bench in 22 minutes. And then 22 minutes as well for Jonathan Isaac, and he had 10 points. 7 points for Joe Ingles, who got into it with Cam. And I'm going to get to a special bench player, for me at least. Jett Howard, rookie, first-round pick, top 10 pick. Or maybe it was number 11 for the Magic, played 2 minutes in this game at the end. He had 1 block with 1 assist, 0 for 1, and 0 for 1 from 3. The only reason I talk about Jett Howard is someone I've known since being a little kid. He was drafted, this past year, number 11. As a Rockets fan, if you don't know, Juwan Howard is his father. Juwan Howard played for Michigan, was just the head coach for Michigan until being fired in March. And Juwan played for the Miami Heat, won championships with the Miami Heat. That's one of the biggest, and also was played for the Wizards. But 3 of his best seasons were with the Houston Rockets, and so obviously him and his family moved here. And my family kind of became close with, my mother became close with Jett's mother, Juwan's wife, to the point where Juwan's wife even threw my mom's baby shower for when she was having me. I've met Jett, I think maybe 2 or 3 times, at least I can remember, and I haven't seen him since 2017, back when Juwan was an assistant coach for the Miami Heat, and they were in town to play the Rockets, and even Jett and his brother had a tournament in Houston. So it was like a crazy coincidence that the Miami Heat were playing the Rockets, and this was in 2017, and then Jett and his brother both had an AU tournament. But this was also going into the All-Star break that year, so Juwan didn't have to go back with the Miami Heat. So he stayed in Houston. But, I didn't go to the game tonight. I would have liked to go to the game tonight. I wanted to stay home and watch the Astros and watch both the Astros and the Rockets, and I don't think I would have been able to see Jett. Maybe his mom, I would have been able to potentially see her if I was at the game. I know she was there. But I'm just it's nice to know someone that was that's in the NBA now, that you watched him as a kid. I remember maybe I was 10. I remember you know, he wasn't playing. His team was off, and his older brother Jace was playing, and I remember going onto the court with Jet and shooting around with him because there was no game going on. Jace, I think it was halftime of his brother's game, and me and Jet and maybe a friend of his were just shooting around. It's just a cool moments you can remember and look at and say, hey, I was those are moments with an NBA player. But yeah, love seeing Jet getting some opportunities to play. But let me know your thoughts on the game. Great win for the Rockets. Hopefully they can keep it up. Hopefully they can finish the season with a 500 record. Let me know your thoughts, and peace out. Go Rockets.